man, it's this band is just speaking a different language than us. We don't speak bar, country rock, blues, fucking whatever this is, because there's no way. I don't get it. I fucking don't get it.
It stinks.
Welcome to Every Album Ever with Mike and Alex, the podcast where we listen to every single album in the world, whether we like it or not. That's a whole new discography per episode. My name is Michael Mansour, and I'm joined, as always, by my delighted and excited co-host, Alexander Volts. Say hello.
Yeah, I guess I am about a few things. Hello.
And today, we will be discussing every album by
Green on Red.
Okay, all right, everybody. Calm down, everybody. This was requested on Patreon. This is requested on Patreon by Nikos. Nikos has been supporting us for a long time, so we're eternally grateful. Eternally grateful. Thank you so much for suggesting this, for being a part, and for suggesting and for just helping us. Also, I'm sorry. Goodbye, Nikos. You're probably going to leave us forever after this episode because there's no way this is going to go well. There's no way. If you're a fan of Green on Red, there's no way this. I have nothing against the fans of this band.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of Green on Red, God bless you. You shouldn't be here. And if that's okay, if you're accepting what I'm saying right now, then come along for the ride. It's going to be a rough one.
But don't give us no guff. Is that a sentence? Yeah. Yeah. I don't. We warned you. We warned you.
We are warning you. We are warning. This is so. There's going to be a whole bunch of just prefaces and warnings out the gate here. For one, Nikos is on Patreon. He suggested this to us to cover. We are no longer suggesting requests on Patreon or period because Alex is leaving the show by the end of the year. If you don't know why Alex is leaving the show, check out our part 1, King Crimson episode part 1, where he announces it and goes into full detail. I'm going to go ahead and take a guess that episodes like this are the reason Alex is leaving the show.
It's partially, as getting older, I realize it's very, very rarely do I make decisions based on one thing. So I would be lying if it wasn't episodes like this, but I would say that also played like a smaller factor than other things.
A smaller factor than other things, but a factor nonetheless.
Yes.
because this is exhausting. And we never know what we're going to get when it's a band that we're completely unfamiliar with. And then also in Nikos's defense, he suggested 2 bands for us to cover. And he said, sample them, pick which one you like more, and then go with that one. It was so long. I don't remember why we settled on Green on Red versus his other request. Again, there must have been a good reason at the time that this ended up on the schedule.
Well, I'm going to guess we don't have time for sampling. And on paper, this looked like it was shorter.
It probably looked like it was shorter. I think it looked, from what I vaguely remember, I think it looked more interesting. I don't remember though. It was like a year ago. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Had we sampled it or put more effort, this is our fault. This episode is our fault, Alex. We could have went with another band that we probably would have liked more.
When you think about it, every episode is our fault in a way.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
Yes, that is also true. Yes, they are all definitely the podcast is our fault.
Yes.
So we're doing it anyway. So yeah, no more requests on Patreon because Alex is leaving. Another slight update. I didn't tell you this, Alex. It's going to keep happening. I got hit once again by Spotify. We lost another 30 plus episodes on Spotify.
Just non-existent on Spotify now.
At this point, if you're listening on Spotify, new episodes are fine. New episodes are going to be fine. But I'm going to predict that by the end of the year, every main episode is going to be taken off of Spotify because we had a tradition for almost 6 years to play an entire song at the end of an episode, which really is not, we shouldn't have been able to do it, but we got away with it for fucking 5 years. So we kept doing it. Now Spotify is cracking down. They're removing all our episodes. So, reap what you sow.
Yeah, we thought it was a nice little homage to the bands, a way to like cue listeners in, but I guess that's not how rules work.
Not apparently, yeah. Apparently not how rules and copyright laws work. I get it. All right, I get it. But also, come on, man. Be cool. That's the only defense I got, really.
Yeah, just cut that end off.
Yeah, I wish it was that easy. If I could just chop off the end, like even YouTube, when they fuck you on copyright stuff, they let you like chop out stuff. Not Spotify, just whole thing gone. And there's no way to re-upload it without it ruining the entire RSS feed for all other platforms. So Spotify is just screwed. New episodes are fine, like I said, but old ones, definitely not fine. Anyway, now on to Green on Red. Now, obviously, neither of us had any idea what this was going in. And now that we know, give me your feelings, Alex.
I don't like it.
You don't say.
So initially, when I thought we had less time, I just pulled up whatever was on streaming because I was like, I don't have time to like see what comes first or whatever. And I just threw on This Time Around, and I was like, this is awful. I hope this isn't, well, Monkey's Paw Wish. I hope this isn't their whole discography. And it's not. And I think they start off interesting enough where it's like, well, that's cool. It's just not for me. And then they double, triple dog down on being boring and generic. And there's like blues worship, there's Doors worship, there's Rolling Stones worship, there's Lou Reed.
Lots of country, Alex. There's lots of country. This is a country rock band, essentially.
I feel like I've been listening to more country. Like I should be primed and ready for this band. And
we don't hate country.
Yeah, well, not counting Willer Walker Jr., I went to my first country show last week, Joshua Ray Walker, and yeah, delightful. I love, some outlaw country, some, weirdos, and this is just feels really by the numbers.
By the numbers would be the kindest thing you could say about this. This is the most man. So, okay, look, this is an album, an episode with a lot of albums, and we like to be thorough here. We talk about each album in as much detail as possible. We give some backstory, whatever we can get, whatever context we can get about it and stuff. There is so little evolution from one album to the next of this band. I don't think we need to spend very much time on these albums. I feel like we're just be repeating ourselves because I am blown away at the lack of growth, at the lack of songwriting variety, at the lack of experiment. It hurts my brain almost.
It's gonna be, I have horrible flashbacks of doing late era Soul Asylum.
Dude, Soul Asylum became our sort of yardstick of horrible episodes of worst bands. And about three albums in, or 3 records in, 3 or 4 in, I thought, oh no, not only are we getting another Soul Asylum, I think this is worse. I think this is worse than Soul Asylum.
Because Soul Asylum actually has good albums, but they do. They also have albums that are so bad they make me forget they have good albums.
Yes, that's the crazy thing, is that not only did Soul Asylum have like a good 3 or 4 like solid albums, I think at least one of those is like a very good album, like very good.
Yeah,
I cannot say that about this band. I don't think this band has a single good album.
I think like, yes, yeah, that's fair for albums. I think they're, well, 2 EPs are interesting enough, and then it gets abandoned.
Yeah, so we're covering 7 full lengths and then 3 EPs. Although one of the EPs is kind of listed as also listed as an LP. I can't really get much clarity about that. Like on Discogs, I think it's under LPs, but you look at wikis or something and it'll say EP. It's short. It's technically over 20 minutes, which is by the definition of EPs, not an EP, but nobody follows that rule.
Yeah.
So it's an EP. It's a short, it's a mini album. It's something like that. So it's like a little hybrid, but for the most part, the actual full length albums, I would say none of them are good. I would actually say none of them are even close to good.
I thought surely 1, maybe 2 must be good, but man, yeah, it is like jarring how quickly they throw in the towel and give up any sense of weirdness or uniqueness.
It makes me even wonder where it came from because we're hinting at it, but they started out as something that's so vastly different to what they would really lean into, but it doesn't even make any sense. Like the country western stuff, it seems to come out of nowhere, and all of a sudden it's their entire identity for the entire discography. It's strange. It really caught me off guard.
It is really strange because I don't know. Yeah, usually bands kind of like have an era they relish in, and then they give that up. Also, like I think of ELO, although string of great albums, and then you become an old man and you just give up.
Or give up. You stop. You just that's the crazy thing with someone who's that great as Jeff Lynne. You don't think that he's incapable of doing it, but he's just not really trying. He's just sort of, man, this is the way I always do it. Might as well keep doing. Yeah, you can't do it the way you always do it, man. You gotta, as soon as something like that happens, you gotta start making yourself changing things up, making yourself uncomfortable, finding something new. I don't know. You can do whatever the hell you want, but this is just what we've seen from. We cover a lot of artists here. We see a lot of things happen after a certain point. This guy, this main dude, the man who technically is Green on Red is Dan Stuart. Well, him and is it? Yeah, no, it's his band, lead vocalist and guitarist. I'm so confused. I'm baffled by this. First off, we got to find out where the hell they're from. So we got some notes here from our boy Tom Osman, our history guy who digs up dirt for us. Go support him. We have is it an interview? I believe it's an interview with Dan from 2024, and then a piece from it's just the timeline, the biography from greenonred.net. So where the hell did they form?
Tucson, Arizona.
So that's the thing. It's not the South, but it's like,
desert.
It's a desert. There's parts of it where it can feel a little bit more like the South, but it's still not quite it's not the South, it's Southwest. But the funny part is that this guy, you see him go through this identity crisis with his vocals for several records in a row where he just
up until
I'm going to sing like this now. I'm going to sing like this now. I'm going to sing like this.
Up until the end, pretty much.
Well, there's like a chunk where he'll settle on one thing. Like the first few records in a row, he's just trying to find something. And then he lands on like, I'm going to copy this singer for this 3 albums. Now I'm going to copy this singer for this 3 albums. And toward the end, he's just doing a fucking Southern accent in the songs. He's clearly not from the South. I mean, you're from Arizona. And you could hear on other songs, you hear him speak, like doing spoken word stuff. He doesn't have a Southern accent. He's faking this is just as bad as the Jamaican accent in reggae songs. It's just as bad as the British accent in punk songs. If you're not from England, even though I do like Jay Retard, he did fake the accent, which is kind of stupid. it's just like, what are you doing, dude? What do you do? You want to play this genre that bad that you're faking an accent? I find it silly. I find it very silly.
Yeah, like you probably don't have to. It'd be more unique if you found something more genuine to yourself.
I don't believe this band. I don't believe so much of what they do. It just feels so goddamn formulaic. Everything has the same fucking blues progression where it plays a riff and then it modulates to a different key, plays the same riff, and goes back. It's if you've heard any blues song in the world, you've heard all these songs. If you've heard any country song in the world, you've heard all these songs. There's so little to grab onto. It makes me sad. It was so I got nothing from this episode like that I can keep with me, other than the fact that I know so confident in my heart of the music that I don't want to hear or make in my life. That's all I got from this.
Yeah. It's hard. Maybe it's also weird that most of their shit isn't streaming, which probably doesn't help their legacy if they have one. Yeah, there's no reason to. I think even on the stuff that I consider like passable that I like, there's not really. I was listening to it. I was like, okay, this is cool. They're like laying down like a road map, like some bones they can build on, and then yes, threw those bones out. And
yep, completely abandoned like the little framework that they set up in the very beginning. So they formed in 1979. Dan formed a band with, I believe it was a roommate of his, one of his friends named Van Christian, and they started a band called the Surfers with an F-E-R-S. Their website has, which Tom notes here, it's actually kind of interesting formatting for timelines. It gives you like historical context. So it's like, it has 1979, he forms this band with his friend. And then below it has also 1979, Sony introduces the Walkman. Like this is like it's just setting up a picture of like
what the world was like.
Yeah, I like that. So it's very clever. So they start playing with punk bands. They develop a bit of a following around 1980. When they know this is where Reagan gets elected, CNN is launched and stuff like that. Hardcore punk begins. They didn't write that, but I'm just adding that for myself. So in this interview, they ask Dan what his earlier music memories are. And he says, I feel very lucky because in 1968, I was 7 years old, driving around with my mom in the car, listening to great pop radio in the beginning of what we now call album-oriented rock or classic rock, which was dominant on FM radio back then. Then in the early 70s, when I first started smoking weed, we listened to what we now call prog. But for me, rock and roll was getting a little bit too intellectual with too many chord changes. Oh, he hates all those dang chord changes. Oh, too bad.
I like the Ramones. I like the White Stripes and all that.
I don't, but I feel where you're coming from.
Yeah, although I would argue, Jack's probably a little more tech, but I think people see two players and Meg. It's simple music. I don't have a problem with it if it's interesting.
Love simple music.
Yeah,
simple music can be some of the greatest music in the world, but also prog rules, as we covered with. Well, we're going to be getting King Crimson Part 2 pretty soon. And he continues to say, I had the best with Burt Bacharach, the Monkees, the Doors, Bob Dylan, prog, album-oriented rock, and then punk. So he's talking about punk here, and he says the punk rock thing is really interesting because I was bored of rock and roll around 1974. I went to Australia with my dad, who was Australian. He was a professor, and he went over there for a sabbatical. So I spent a year in Australia on Maroubra Beach, of all places. I have no idea if I said that right. Probably not. Maroubra Beach, of all places. So I was living in Australia when the Saints' I'm Stranded was the number one hit. You ever heard the Saints?
If I have, I didn't know it.
Early punk band from Australia. They're very good. They had, I don't know how many albums they had, but I was mostly familiar with their first two albums. I remember the second album being quite good too. But they're one of those kind of important, unique early punk bands. Good band. So after this, I think they relocate to. I think he relocates to LA I think that's where Green on Red kind of started. Right here in 1981, it says, after getting arrested for stealing a guitar, Stuart moves to LA with the rest of the band, soon to follow. On the advice of a former member of the Germs, check out episode on the Germs, although maybe not on Spotify. I don't know if it was deleted. It might have been deleted. The band changes their name to Green on Red. Drummer Van Christian leaves band and is replaced by Alex McNichol. I'm not good at my Irish name so much. They record the Two Bibles EP and print 500 copies. Record goes to /1 at a small college radio station in Cleveland. And we're going to start with that EP. So total 7 albums, 3 EPs, 2.5 EPs, 2 EPs, 1 mini LP, whatever. First one, 1981. Last one, 1992. Are you ready?
I'm so ready to rip this Band-Aid off.
This is 1981's The Two Bibles EP.
So, after listening to this time around, this really piqued my interest.
Yeah, keyboard driven. It's a cool little. I thought there was like, oh, this is like a post punk band.
Yeah, kind of new wave.
He's not a bad singer either.
Yeah, new wave. A little pinch of goth music.
Someone's killing someone's children with no.
It's a little bit dark too.
It is.
Gracious thoughts.
Yeah, this is straight up post punk. What I imagine, like from '81 post punk.
Yes.
It's fun. Yeah.
Stays a portrait of innocence.
And the keyboards have an interesting quality to them. It doesn't feel too like
Shifting
oceany, you know. It doesn't feel too. It feels very concrete. It's not drawn in reverb or anything.
I would argue their keyboard player is probably the strongest, most like unique character-driven aspect of the band. And I'm getting ahead a little bit, but at a certain point, I feel like they just throw that dude under the bus.
Oh yeah, they totally do. So best personal favorite.
Okay.
And honestly, I think this is, and I mean this, a decent EP at best.
Again, like I think in other bands, it's like cool. This is a cool like debut thing. I'm excited for your future, but I know what the future is.
This was real. I literally wrote on my notes, not bad, but not amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is fine. Most of the songs are decent. I think there are only, kind of 2 real highlights. And the closer, I don't even really like. I mean, I'm okay with A Tragedy, the closer, but I don't really like it that much. I think it's fine. There's some garage rock on here. It really is just standard garage rock with kind of fair writing with this interesting post-punk adjacent keyboard. Because the title track, the opening song, feels very post-punk, but the rest don't so much.
Yeah, I would say that the like second strongest influence on here is definitely Television. You get some Television guitar like riffs and lines on La Vida Muerta and the closing track, A Tragedy. So
yeah, so La Vida Muerta is cool. It's fine. It's got a prominent piano on there. It's not just whatever keyboard sounds, synth sounds.
It kind of like, I was listening to it, I was like, it kind of sounds like an Elton John song
Ooh.
And like I think like Elton John mixed with Television could be like an interesting jumping off point for a band, but they do nothing with that premise.
No, definitely not. It doesn't go anywhere. But it is an interesting idea that the rock and roll pianos, I think they go on a little bit too long for its own good, but it's not bad. It sounds like it's an interesting little texture in the song. My favorite song, and honestly one of the best songs in the entire discography, is Not Today. It's just spastic Devo sounding stuff, which love me some Devo. Check out our episode on Devo. You can't on Spotify. A long time ago and it's gone. But so it's got an awesome bass line. It's a total different vibe from the other songs. It's really kooky. They have maybe two, I want to say two kooky songs in the entire discography. And I think the two best songs in the entire discography.
Yeah.
And this is one of them. I dig it a lot.
Yeah. I think one of my favorites on here is New World. Just because the keyboard player goes so hard on that one. And they have like this kind of wall of sound that feels like, okay, we're dialing into this. We're going to like kind of make it our own. But again, they don't.
It's a good song.
Yeah.
It's a good song. The synth lines are very prominent and they're very grabbable. They're very fun. And the choruses are nice and dark compared to the verses, which feel a lot lighter. And the pianos feel good in there. It's a good song.
Yeah.
And again, I was talking shit about Tragedy a little bit, but it's I don't hate it. It just feels less. It feels so much less special following Not Today, because Not Today is this really colorful thing. Then a Tragedy just kind of goes back to regular garage rock, but it's fine. And the fact that I feel like this is the best is insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. This is I'm probably out of all of our million episodes that we've done, I'll probably put this in the top 3 of like worst best albums.
Oh, wow.
Like worst best picks.
Wow.
Yeah, like up there with like Destiny's Child or Thrice of like the worst best.
Yeah.
Because we have plenty of like really good worsts where like where we give an album worst, but we still think it's a good album. We do that all the time. This is like, I don't think this is that great, but it's the best one here.
That is a more interesting list. Albums you gave best to, but you don't love. That is
I'm never coming back to this.
is a more like on the off chance like someone threw it on, I wouldn't be upset if this was playing somewhere.
That is the extent that I'll go. I'm not going to be bothered if someone puts this on. Oh, Jesus Christ, man. This is going to be a rough one. Yeah, I think we ready to move on from this one. Yeah, let's just keep it moving because we have plenty more to talk about. This is a very short record. My best and personal favorite, but it's because I like this kind of shit. I like post-punk a lot. I don't like country rock. Apparently, I love Wheeler Walker. I love Ween's country album. I love Nick Cave's country album. I love when people do country. I love Dale Hollow. I like plenty of country things, but just not when it's like they're just playing the genre of country.
Yes.
That doesn't mean anything to me. I need the songwriting. But around the time of this next record, this next EP, LP, mini LP thing, in 1982, it says the band gets associated with the so-called Paisley Underground. After hearing a cassette at a barbecue, Dream Syndicate's Steve Wynn releases an eponymous EP on his Down There label. The record goes college radio top 10 and gathers favorable national reviews. So this is said self-titled EP. I guess this also did well in the college circuit. I could kind of see why. I mean, if we're thinking about the early 80s in college radio, but let's do it. Let's move on. Here we go. 1982's self-titled. Well dropped, but not a bad main riff.
Yeah, kind of more like
just looking to
closer to like Violent Femmes, I think.
that matters.
Not super familiar with them, but I know what you're saying. I mean, I know them, but I never
Sure.
did deep dive.
Neither have I. Just the smattering.
Death and angels, I swear, fly around.
I don't love this song. I don't think this is the greatest opener. It's not a bad main riff, but I don't love this song.
You know what? Fair. Looking at how I feel about the other songs, I think that's fair.
In the case
So,
of a sudden
you're already the vocals here.
point of view,
It's not as obvious because we're just hearing the first seconds of the first chunk of the first song. But on the first EP, he was singing. He was actually singing. He was singing melodies. On this record, he's just sort of talk singing throughout the whole thing. So this is his first change up of a vocal style.
Yeah, channeling some, Lou Reed's the go-to talk singer.
Boy, does he get very Lou Reedy later on too.
Yes, this is my best personal favorite.
I don't love this EP at all. I think this is their second best record.
Obviously.
Yeah.
To me, it's a little stronger because I think one of my favorite songs they've ever done is Hair and Skin.
Uh-huh.
That
is a good one.
It is like psychedelic Western shit with like synth, and those are some things that maybe don't belong together, but they were able to do it. And I don't know, give me a whole album of Hair and Skin. Like, there's something you could do, and they fucking don't.
Hair and Skin, it comes. So I one reason I like it more is because it comes in with this minor key main riff. The main riff is a solid riff. What immediately turned me off, and it could have been really any song that was track 2. It just happened to be that Hair and Skin is track 2. It's the vocals. Oh, he's doing this on the whole album. What he's doing on the first song, he's doing the whole album. Whereas at least on the first EP, he's singing here and there, and then some songs he shouts and he's a little bit more minimal. But you tell he's not a bad singer.
Yeah.
Here he just decided to do this monotone talk singing thing, and he does it on every song. And I feel it straight up hurts every song. Like, he doesn't add anything.
Wild. Yeah. It obviously didn't bother me that much.
Well, tell me about Black Knight.
Black Knight is cool. They said, let's make a goth surf rock song. And it works. I guess, if you're a fan of something like the Cramps, maybe check that out.
That's funny. I hate the Cramps, as you know, and that's one of the best songs on the album for sure. It's like spooky Western.
It's so weird. Like, certain things about the Cramps, like I just want a taste. I just want an appetizer. I don't want what the Cramps.
They go.
Yeah.
They dump the whole pitcher of salt on there. That's what they do.
Yeah, Black Knight is goth surf rock. I feel like Illustrated Crawling is like goth sleazy bar music. Like, not music you would play for goths at a bar per se, but like, take some like sleazy rock and roll bar music and mix that. Yeah.
I was better on Illustrated Crawling on second listen. Still not one of my favorites. Still don't love it, but it is better when it settles in a little bit. And conversely, I was less offended by the song Aspirin on first listen compared to second listen. I'm like, all right, I'm not really into this at all.
Yeah, Aspirin is surprisingly more fun and upbeat. Being a fan of Murder City Devils, it does make me like think of them, and I almost wonder if like Murder City Devils was like a fan of some of this early Green on Red stuff.
The keyboard stuff is cool because the keyboard stuff also is still here doing kind of kooky stuff on this whole EP. It's going to get neutered in about in like one album or two albums from now. It's going to be gone basically. But here it's still serving its purpose for its strangeness.
Yeah, and then Lost World, they really don't have much dreamy and spacey stuff. So Lost World is an outlier amongst the discography.
It sure is, and that's one where I don't like it. I find it to be pretty boring, and the vocal is really, really, but it has this dreamlike quality to it that I appreciate. That we do not get almost ever again, pretty much ever again. So
really,
can't really say it's bad.
Really, the thing that I think puts these two EPs over the top is the rest of the discography, where I was listening to it and I was like, cool. No. So it's just like, take me back to these things.
Yeah. Dude, but by the end of this EP, I was like, this isn't great. You know, I'm not really into this. This isn't great. And it's literally two from now. I'm like, oh, fuck. That was those were the glory days.
We had it so
We had
good.
it so good. We didn't even appreciate what we had. So yeah, I find this to be a little bit less charming than the debut, but before that, there's we didn't even mention Apartment, which I do think is pretty strong. I think it's one of the strongest closers.
Of course you do, because there's evil circus music on there, and I agree with you. It's like disjointed off notes, and R.I.P. to them being dark, because that's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's basically it. Yeah. And it's a really cool dark bass line too. Like you can really count on like one or two hands how many good catchy bass lines or riffs they have. And yeah, it's just
like after this EP, they instantly turned like 60 years old or something.
Yes, that's basically what happened. They aged an entire generation after this, and good God Almighty. So this is from the interview. They asked Dan, with Green on Red, did you feel part of a growing movement that became tagged as the Paisley Underground? And he says, well, we did get lumped into the quote unquote the Paisley Underground scene. We weren't friends with all the others, some of the bands we didn't even know, but we knew the Dream Syndicate and Rain Parade for sure. We would have parties and barbecues, go out drinking, and go to each other's gigs. We were all in our early 20s in LA having a blast. So Paisley Underground, that is something I don't even know a little bit about.
Fucking news to me. And yeah, I don't know any of these fucking bands. I was like, is that like something the Laws? It feels like something the Laws would be part of.
Except the Laws ruled. You don't like it so much, but I think that album is fantastic.
I do.
It does seem like very much like, all right, we're gonna worship. You kind of worship the bands of yesteryear, so to speak. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really seem like my type of thing. So yeah, the Dream Syndicate is one of the bands that they cited, and they're pulling from Velvet Underground, who everyone loves except me. Crazy Horse, I'm fine with Crazy Horse, and then Creedence, love Creedence, with the energy of punk. So it's very much we're blending dad rock and classic rock with punk, and if that could be a very cool thing. Anything could be a very cool thing. Yeah. Really, anything in the world could be a cool thing if you do it good. Also, I haven't heard them, so I can't comment, but
also very interesting that it was Los Angeles, Sacramento, and Davis. Like Sacramento and Davis, maybe, but LA is not anywhere. Like
nowhere near.
It's not like Los Angeles, San Diego. Sure, 2-hour drive. So that's so interesting to me that
straight up 6 hours away.
Yeah.
That is very odd. Yeah, that's to call that a scene is very unusual. But now we're on to the first
album.
Yeah, the first album. First actual official album that you can kind of call this one an album, but it's also just a little bit ambiguous. This one is album length. This one is album. It's also not streaming. Every album is not streaming except for the final 3. Those last 3 are streaming, but everything else, there's like a playlist on YouTube that we used where it has everything kind of chronological order, which was pretty helpful.
It was still a mess. Thank you for the heads up. My notes would have been so fucking wrong if you didn't tell me that. Sorry,
it's on this album too.
Inside baseball, but
no, we can talk about it now because it is on this album. On the YouTube version of this next album, one of the tracks is missing, and it doesn't. There are no timestamps.
It throws everything off if you're like trying to keep it song by song.
Yeah. And the only reason that I caught it is because I was looking at the song. I felt a song being short.
Yeah.
And I looked at this time and I said, wait, this should be 5 minutes. Why? That felt like it was like 2 minutes. And then I looked at it and I had to find the one that was missing. It's a mess. But this is the only album that does that. Anyway, moving on. This is 1983's Gravity Talks.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Viewers will see me leave. I'm just going to grab something from the fridge while music's playing. I'm still here in the cans. I need some caffeine.
Okay. I should get some water too, please. Let's all just leave the show. Oh, man.
My fridge is like 6 feet away from my computer.
Oh, that's
so,
mine is a lot farther.
yeah.
Okay, so now
This sound-
third vocal shift.
Yes, and this sounds like something like when I hear Paisley Underground, this makes sense.
I would agree with that if I was just going in blind. So I'm not very familiar with the band Blues Traveler, Alex, but that's the first name that popped into my head when I heard this.
You mean you're not a popper? You're not a John Popper fan?
I am fucking not. I am not a pop head.
You know, like big fat guys in overalls playing harmonica?
I love the idea of them. I like looking at them. I don't want to hear their fucking harmonica.
I thought you might like this because, like, that organ is really circusy.
The thing is, that organ is baseball or like, what is
you
that?
don't know
That's what that fucking organ is.
There is like baseball organ. I feel like that is a genre. Like,
Yeah,
you can't.
totally.
You shouldn't. Baseball stadiums, arenas. No, not. I guess stadiums.
Stadiums.
You shouldn't be allowed to display any pop song on the organ. It should have to like pass a test where it's like, okay, that does sound good coming out.
Inagata Vita, and that's it. That's all I want to hear at baseball games.
Yeah, that's how much Mike likes sports. He called it baseballs.
You gotta go to the baseballs, buddy. So now Dan is on this whole record and many others after this. He's just singing like Alice Cooper. He's just Alice Cooper, and it's annoying.
I think I do hear the Coop more often than not.
Yeah.
I think that's if I have to pick a devil, I think the more like nastier his Alice Cooper impression is preferable to me than, and I know he's not doing a Sparkle Horse impression because there's, different times. I prefer that to his Sparkle Horse vocals. I prefer it to his Lou Reed vocals. So,
or Neil Young, which he will do a lot of Neil Young in a few albums. I'm okay. So, like, I guess when you compare it to those, I guess it's fine. But it most of the time comes across as the funniest thing. It makes me laugh so much. It shouldn't be making me laugh because it's not supposed to be funny, but it's funny because when you hear the first two EPs, you hear a guy. You hear his voice, you hear him singing, you hear him trying, singing all these different ways, trying all these things. And then all of a sudden you hear him just doing, so I just can't stop imagining a guy just making his voice like that because he thought it sounded cool. It just feels so like, buddy, I know Alice Cooper rules. All right. We fucking love Alice Cooper, but we have him already. Be someone else. Be yourself. What are you doing?
Yeah, I get it. You're from Arizona. Alice Cooper lives there, right? So
does he?
Thought he did. Or is
I have no idea.
Is Cooperstown just there? For those who don't know, Alice Cooper also loves the baseballs, and he opened up a fucking hot dog restaurant themed. That's baseball themed, and it's called Cooperstown because
that rules.
Cole will get a kick out of this. Longtime listener of the show who loves baseball music. I'm looking up to see if Cooperstown is still in business. Oh, it closed 2017 because, of course, after 18 years in downtown Phoenix. This was an establishment, apparently, in downtown Phoenix.
Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, I mean, it's been closed for damn near 10 years, though. So,
and yeah, the logo is like a baseball field with Alice Cooper.
Damn, that's super cool. That's a shame. But back to this fucking album. So this was this gave me a pit in my stomach. I knew from this album that the rest were going to be bad.
Yes, I thought, just peeping around at Wikipedia, I thought this would be the one to, like, this is, and it's beloved amongst people who like it. And
Shit, man,
yeah, if you're still listening, I don't know what you're doing here, and I apologize, but also I feel the way I feel.
I really don't have anything against this band and the people who like this band. If you enjoy it, that's so nice and so cool that you get to enjoy it. I don't even a little bit get it. And it's not for me to get. That's okay. I don't want to get it. I really fucking don't. I've heard it enough times. I've heard all these albums enough. I didn't just I went out of my way to listen to everything twice when I really didn't need to, because I knew from one listen, like, I fucking hate this. There's nothing, but I wanted to at least try, like, be able to remember stuff, because if this isn't your thing, if you're not into this fucking country rock stuff, it's going to go right out the other ear. There's really nothing that's going to retain.
I will positives about this. The keyboard player sounds like he's having a blast. Like, he's the only thing holding it together for me. And I do appreciate their blue collar socio-political lyrics, which I feel like they abandon just as quickly as they do the keyboard player. But they're here on this album, and yeah.
This is a band where, man, you couldn't pay me to remember any lyrics that didn't make me laugh out loud. And I'm really only referencing one song that's on it's like 2 records from now, where the only thing from this entire episode that I'm going to remember is one line from this one song, because it made me laugh so much.
I wonder if I wrote it down. I hope I did.
I don't think so. I don't think it's that funny on paper.
Okay.
It's just I happened to catch it right when it happened, and then I sent it to my lady friend, because I was like, this is what I'm going through right now. And then now it's just constantly in my head. But things I do that I'm okay with here are 5 Easy Pieces. I'm okay with that. It's track 3.
Yeah, it's proper garage rock psychedelia, like a nastier version of The Doors a little bit.
It's got a nice little keyboard line. It's not too bad. And then the song that's missing from the YouTube version of this album is Alice. You could find a separate video on YouTube. That's what I had to do. I search it separately. I'm okay with Alice. By the end of it, I'm kind of... I'm not super big on the whole song, but as it goes on, the final chunk isn't bad. It has these backup vocals that come in that actually work pretty well.
Alice pulls off the impressive feat of featuring what sound like steel drums in a non-tropical song, and they actually work, though. So, hats off.
Very cool.
I feel like making steel drums work in seamlessly is not an easy task, so that's another tip of the hat I'll give to them.
Yeah, not too bad. Blue Parade, I don't mind Blue Parade either. I'm not going to seek it out, of course, but it's got kind of an edgy main riff. It has a slightly different drum. That's another thing. The drums, once in a blue moon, the drums are going to do something kind of different, and then I'm going to be very excited, because I'm just so desperate for some kind of change that a slightly different drum beat, like in Blue Parade, all right, give it to me.
Blue Parade is very sexy desert sounding. In my head, the go-to sexy desert song is Chris Isaak's Wicked Games. Also, like the Eurythmics, or something rain again, like lovers do. I forget what it's called. I'm not a rhythmic head. So, but yeah, I don't know if that helped anyone. But
maybe it did.
Blue Parade is the last time I'm having fun ever.
Oh, I just hard to disagree. Narcolepsy. I think it's one of their best songs. I think it's their last good song, their last great song, honestly. Not great,
You know what? You're right. I wrote a little jab about narcolepsy is what I feel like I've been dealing with while listening to this band. But no, it is one of the better songs on the album. It definitely is a song that hits harder.
It's got an actual distinct bass line. It's got these drony kind of clean guitar strums, but it's still snappy and quick. It's a really interesting song. I think it's the best song on the album pretty easily. Vocals still blow, and I think it kind of drags. I think the song starts to drag, but I think it's still pretty solid. Now we've listed all the highs of this album.
Yes.
The rest,
The lows,
is bad. The rest I can't stand. Throw one at me, Old Chief. Get the fuck out of here. What do you want with me, Old Chief? Come on.
Yeah. Like Over My Head, at first I was like, I don't hate this, and then by the end I was like, no, I hate it.
Dude. The some of these vocal performances, like, I like Blue Parade, but honestly, how lazy are those vocals? I mean, it's actually funny.
Yeah.
He's not even trying.
There are times on later albums that make me laugh, but I think here I was still like in earnest, like making an effort. Like I knew they were kind of off, but I was like trying to look past it.
Right. At this point, I was kind of nervous, and I felt like there weren't going to be any other good ones. But I was still hoping, at a certain point you lose hope. But here I was still hoping.
We always, well, not always, but for the most part, we always hope. We love a good In the Mud, and then a fucking album just out of nowhere, like a phoenix rising from the ashes.
That does happen. Yeah, it's very.
For normal people, it's not fucking worth it. But if you're doing a stupid podcast like this one, I'll take that.
Dude, totally. Deliverance. I started getting Soul Asylum PTSD flashbacks from Deliverance.
Sorry, you didn't do it on purpose, but I like the way you like stuttered on it, so it sounded like Deliverance.
Deliverance.
Oh man, sorry.
Does it help that I was moving my hands all autistically too?
Yeah. It's the I got up way too early today. Yeah, it's like very 70s, and even the lyrics feel like a throwback more so than other things.
Jeez Louise, man. It's Snake Bit. Yeah, I mean, average three chord riff for the whole song pretty much. I think we're gonna be doing that for a long time. Just average 3 chord riff, sometimes less, sometimes we get 4 chord riff, modulate it, repeat. I mean, throw in a fucking bluesy solo, and then there we go. That's the song. I think there's just really nothing
that bothers me about Snakebite, and then I probably wouldn't have done much for you, but it's more like, psychedelia is this thing they'll kind of dabble into, but won't fully commit to. So like Snakebite has like a little like, you want to call it like a freak out part, in the 70s, 60s, where they gets like, it's over like in 30 seconds. And it's just like, that's where you get the, he's, I don't want the riffs and the quote you read earlier. So that's where like a song where you can like, maybe, I don't know, maybe some more riffs would help this song. Yeah.
This is apparently beloved, but we're not too big on it. Shocker. But moving on for the next like rest of them, we're already an hour in and we're 3 out of 10. So
we're gonna pick up the speed.
We're gonna pick up the speed. We're not gonna talk about every single song because we don't need to. We're gonna talk about the things that stuck out to us, the highlights, the things that we like, if there are any, and whatever comes from that. Because this is gonna be too long. We don't need a 2-hour episode just shitting on a band. It doesn't seem karmically sound for us to do.
We've probably done it, and we're learning
so many times.
We've learned our lesson.
Oh, geez. So next one on Discog, the order of the next one, because these next 2 records both came out in the same year, so not sure which one came out first. But on the website, it says this one came out first, or has it listed next. So we're going to go with this one. This is 1985's Gas, Food, Lodging. country than before.
And dull country at that.
Yes, this isn't exactly 3 chords. Another 3-chord riff. And you know where it's going. It's not going to go anywhere from this.
Also,
You know how it's going to feel the whole song.
God damn, did this discography like really crank up my appreciation of CCR? Like,
Oh my God, yes. So now he's kind of like a cross between Alice Cooper and Neil Young.
also, I know you haven't seen our friend Jared or heard him do karaoke, but for some reason he sings like this guy. Like, he sounds like Jared.
That is a mean thing to say about our buddy.
I'm sorry, Jared. Jared does it better.
There we go.
That's what dreams were made for.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is the type of person that listens to this song.
Yeah, this
they
fucking
make
sucks.
those- God, I feel like you've gone to like a monster truck jam, or you've been around people who
I've been to one when I was a kid.
We're
It was
like-
boring as shit.
they go like, "God damn," or
God damn, man.
yeah, they
So-
do like hoots and
Oh yeah.
over
This
generic riffs. They love it. Yeah,
and this album stinks. Like,
Yep, yep.
There's nothing I could say. There's nothing I could say. So this didn't get. I mean, from now on, I'm going to be giving the reason why I didn't give it worst. Because honestly, this is where we're at in the episode.
yeah.
I didn't give this worst simply because of the song "This I Know," which I don't think is a good song. It is just has moments that are interesting. It has this weird bubblegum kind of organ riff, which is weird and it's interesting. It's completely different from the rest of the album. It has a minor key chorus that I don't hate, but it seems a little different. And all right, other albums don't do that. There it is. This isn't worse for that, but every other song is horrible for me.
That song bothered me because I love some like a fun, like they like dabbled in it the same way they did with Psychedelia on the last one. Like, it kind of sounds like they're gonna embrace this like Ray Charles sound or like Blues Brothers, and they just don't. Like, just commit to the bit, do it. What do you like?
Yeah.
You don't have anything to lose.
Well, they did sort of. Well, so this piece, I mean, from their website, it says from 1984, before this album was put out, it says in 24 hours, the band leaves Slash Records. That, I know what? I think that was one of the reasons we went for this album, this band.
Oh, the Slash records.
The Slash connection. Punk. I thought Punk
Oh.
connection, which
This is jogging my memory a little bit.
Slash Records, the Punk connection, and this band only existed from the 80s until the early 90s. And I thought, like, that's a good period. That's a good chunk. Slash Records is probably a good association. I'm very curious to see what this band sounds like. Didn't even no part of me would have guessed country rock.
No.
So it says the band leaves Slash Records and signs with Enigma. They soon enter El Dorado Studio at Hollywood and Vine, horrible area, to record a Gaswood Lodging, which becomes their biggest seller.
No
And will
way.
eventually be credited as a forerunner to alt country Americana. The band tours the USA and Europe extensively and gains a reputation for its erratic yet entertaining live performances. So,
What is erratic about this band?
it's what dreams are made for, Alex. To get the fucking program, dude.
No.
This-
I dream wild. I don't care what they're made for. I dream wild.
That's a Donnie and Joe Emerson reference. Go check out that episode.
You know, Mike, if you don't sleep, you can't dream.
That is true.
They say that in the fictional movie.
Do they really?
I thought I sent you when I was watching. I took a picture and Donnie was the main one, or was,
Oh, right. Yes. Yes.
and his kids won't go to sleep, and he tells them, and he, dude, it's the funniest fucking performance. He's like kind of mumbling and weird, and he's like, like a fucking Tim and Eric character. He's like, you can't dream if you don't go to sleep.
No true words ever been spoken, brother. That's not bad. But I do know that there is something I do love about this album, and that is the song I was referencing earlier about the vocal line and lyric, and that is from The Drifter, and it's when he starts screaming, "They call me the killer." I can't get that out of my fucking. I just snotted all over my microphone.
You know what else he sounds like, and I like meant to jot it down, but then he sounds like old man Dave Mustaine sometimes.
A little bit. We're a little bit more on the nasally, cat side.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a little grating.
Yeah. My favorite song on here, Sia Cortez. It's
Okay.
It's a little more groovier than their other songs, so I'll take the groove.
Yeah, it kind of it's very similar to The Drifter, but it's a little bit better. It's got more energy to it. It's a little bit faster. I don't love it. I don't love anything on this, of course, but yeah, I do think it's better than The Drifter.
Oh, the other positive for me was 16 Ways. I think featuring the organ on there made it just made it more interesting to me. Again, I love, well, maybe love's too strong of a word. I think the keyboard player is like their most endearing aspect, and they just fucking neglect him. At some point, it sounds like they just fucking get rid of him.
It does sound like he disappears at some point because eventually he starts just playing standard bluesy country sounding stuff, solos and stuff. But for 16 Ways, so listening to this on YouTube, the YouTube version of this song skips a lot, and I found the skipping to be the most interesting part of the song. Like I there's so much that I wasn't fully checked out because I was in too much pain to check out. Like like at a certain point, this band starts to just rely on like 3 different song types: the super duper soft ballad, usually acoustic, the outlaw country type stuff, maybe 4 things: the honky tonk style stuff, more upbeat, fun stuff, and then the blues bullshit. So it just kind of jumps between one of those 4 from like this point on the discography onward.
If I was a more talented songwriter, I would start a genre specifically titled "The Blues Bullshit."
The blues bullshit.
The blues bullshit. The last thing I want to say about this album is I don't need some white person who's never been through it singing "We Shall Overcome." I need
the song "We Shall Overcome."
I need someone who's been through some shit singing that. I don't need these guys singing it. I don't need someone from fucking Silver Lake and Beverly Hills singing it. If you're singing "We Shall Overcome," you've had police dogs sicked on you. You overcome some error that shouldn't exist. Adversity, yes. So don't do it, white people.
I think plenty of white people in some of the methy areas can do that with at least some degree of validity, but also not this band.
Generality, yeah. I will say I don't know when he joins, but I see there's a gentleman joins the group at a certain point named Chuck Prophet, and Miss Prophet was born in Whittier, California. Just hop, skip, and a jump away from here.
Oh yeah, interesting.
Oh,
yeah, that's not far at all.
Yeah, he comes on this album. So
okay, yeah, the "We Shall Overcome." It's funny because you hear like, even though it's still it's not a traditional song. It's not that old. I don't know how old the song actually is, but it's still, it's one of those older songs. Even though like it's still what they do with it is still very much in the vein of the album. You could hear that it's like the best written song because they didn't write it. like from a writing standpoint, like, oh yeah, these progressions are still more interesting than every other song on the album.
Wait.
Yeah, I'd still call it a bad cover. They just do what they just, green on Reddit all over it.
Holy shit. Okay. So I went on this whole rant about how white people shouldn't sing We Shall Overcome. I didn't realize fucking Joan Baez fucking wrote the song. Like she's the
one overcoming,
the originator of the song. So only she's all because it became so popular during the civil rights movement, I just associated it so heavily with the black
but
community.
Also, for sure. That's where I thought it came from. Also, I think most people, but it's just fucking music, man. If you're struggling, embrace it. Unless you're green or red, because I don't like their cover of it. That's my only reason. That's
going to be my takeaway. I learned Joan Baez fucking wrote We Shall Overcome. Who knew?
And there we go.
That's what I got. That's what I got from this episode.
From this episode on a completely unrelated artist.
And that Cooperstown is closed down. You can no longer get Alice Cooper baseball hot dogs.
So a little bit of good, a little bit of bad. You win some, you lose some. But for this next one is the actual it's the final EP. The second one's the final EP. Plenty of records left, but final EP. And apparently the band signed for this one to Phonogram Records in London. Recorded this in England.
Why? There's no reason.
I don't actually know. That's a good question, but we're going to talk about it anyway. This is 1985's No Free Lunch.
Imagine flying across the whole ocean to record one of the most forgettable things you've ever.
Yeah. Fuck, dude.
Walking down, looking for honey. Sun on my face.
So, man, I don't
think about people.
Just when you hear his Mark Arm from Mudhoney sounding vocals here, like you think like
when you're young,
there's room in the universe for this to be a hybrid of different styles, but it's not.
Not this.
This isn't. This is just straight up generic ass country rock.
Yeah.
And your soul still burns. I've seen rainy days.
All right, dude, you get the fucking idea, people. If you don't get the idea from that, you're not gonna at all. This is so okay. Worst least favorite for this one.
Whoa.
I'm giving it to this one.
Whoa.
And listen, you can give it to any of these. You can give it to fucking any single one after this. I'm fine with that. I'm giving it to this one because this is the one that I listened to this in the wrong order. I listened to this one before the previous album because I wasn't sure which. On Discogs, it has this one listed first. It's wrong. I think it's wrong. But it broke me immediately because I was blown away, genuinely surprised that not one thing deviates from just this straight down the middle country rock stuff. Nothing. I think this is the only album or any record that has not one moment that is somewhat okay. Other albums that I think are terrible albums, and there's plenty, have moments where like, that's a cool little riff. That part's okay. I don't like the whole song, but I appreciate that they did that. This has nothing.
I think I was just reaching for anything at this point. So I'll of note, Jimmy Boy, because the singing is particularly funny.
Dude, yeah. I got a lot of Tom Verlaine from Television on that one. Like,
okay.
You mentioned Television earlier, but like his vocals, it's like a Alice Cooper, Tom Verlaine combo there.
Yeah, there's some dirt on that one. And, guitar solos are just interchangeable in this band, but that one, okay.
I would say there's some pretty good solos at some point, like once in a blue moon. There's something like, but I know every single one. So it's like two or three times tops. But once in a while, there's a good solo. But most of the time, it's just, standard bluesy, Southern rock. They cover, was it Time Slips Away by Willie Nelson on here?
Yes.
And really, there's no reason to cover it. I mean, it's a straight cover of a very straightforward type of song, and you're doing nothing with it.
Yeah.
Why? Are you just bored? You just want to have some fun? Okay, play it live then. Why record it? What's the purpose of recording a cover this straight?
Yeah, I think there's, not uber familiar with Mr. Nelson, but I'm going to assume there's probably a better song they could pull from, and I guess they're not a unique band though, so there's no spin to be had on it.
Yeah, the spin. If you don't got a spin on it, the thing is, their spin is copying other bands in the genre, so there is no spin.
Yes.
Really.
You know what I found egregious to a point is the Ballad of Guy Fawkes, because it's that standard like blues riff, that like hoochie coochie man, Smokestack Lightning, and then they fucking cover Smokestack Lightning.
Please tell me you didn't listen to it.
No.
Smokestack.
No.
You didn't?
There's no reason. There's no reason. I already know.
Okay.
I already know what it sounds like.
Yeah. So on YouTube, so this EP is a standard EP. I don't know. I forgot how long it is. 15 minutes, something like that. It's a standard EP length,
Mhm.
or maybe it's 20 minutes or something like that. It's a longer EP actually. The final track on YouTube is the CD bonus version. So it has a bonus track of they're doing a cover of Smokestack Lightning that is like 13 minutes.
Oh.
Didn't even fuck with that. No. No. Didn't even listen to it. Didn't and never going to listen to it. First of all, it's a bonus track. We do bonus tracks when it's relevant, or if like
We're
you want to
into
really
it.
be in depth. We don't fucking need to hear a 13-minute cover, right? God damn it. No.
I heard the opening riff. I was like, I already know.
Yes.
I've heard this song. If I want to hear it, I'll listen to the original.
Yeah, if this was a full length and that was the actual closer, this would be definitive worst.
Like
Instead of
no
just my
competition.
opinion of worst. Yeah. Like this would be a clear front runner. But as of now, as just the EP, it's my worst. I don't like anything on here. I think everything is just so, oh God, it's just, oh my God. At a certain point, I think it was the last track. I want a safe word for this discography. Like, can we just call it quits? Can I just tap out of this one and just start? I'm sorry, Nikos. There's no way he's still watching or pledged to the Patreon anymore. There's no way.
I feel old, and I'm going to make a random deep cut. Well, I feel weird that it's a deep cut. Like, I feel like I was turning into Jay Sherman from the short-lived animated series, The Critic.
It stinks. It stinks.
Like his voice was just playing in my head as I was like listening to these songs.
One of the most underrated shows of all time. It got canceled when it was the number one show. No one knows why. The creator, or not the guy who canceled it, didn't reveal why he canceled it. Very suspicious, like very strange kind of conspiracy of why that show ended. Really, it was one of the greatest.
No,
it was so good.
No, I agree with you. I'm just like, I wasn't expecting you to get like uber serious about The Critic.
I love that.
And
I've
for
watched
you
it
to
so
know,
many times.
like lore behind.
Oh, I know the lore, baby. Yeah.
Fun note: one time, me and Hillary went to a wrestling event, and there's this tag team. They're called Bussy. And Hillary was like wearing the Critic hat with like Jay Sherman on it. I forget what it said. And Allie Catch of Bussy was like, what a fucking deep cut. It was just like so funny to like have like the world of the Critic and pro wrestling.
Yeah, that is an unusual combo.
Dude, yeah, it was a fun moment to have this wrestler be like, oh shit, yeah,
The Critic. Yeah. It for those who've seen it, know though, it was during
It's
the
on
the
fucking-
high.
It's on Tubi. Like, please, if you take anything away from this episode, it's to
Watch
watch
The
The Critic.
It was made during the peak era of The Simpsons, so it had a lot of
Yes.
overlap of like the writers and stuff.
Yeah.
It was made by James L. Brooks. I think he's one of the producers, and it was amazing. John Lovitz plays like he does the voice of the main character, and there were so many like absolutely timeless, goofy gags on that show. It's so well done.
It's oddly like it feels more relevant now, actually. Like, and I think for those of you listening who are artists, if you play music, if you do anything artistic, like there's always this like power struggle of like Jay Sherman and his network boss, who's based on like Ted Turner.
Yeah.
Of like he wants to like be true, or like he wants to cover like real movies, but like corporate is making him cover these like shit.
All these slot movies. Yeah.
Man,
it's beautiful.
It's so
I think they're
good.
trying to bring it back. I think I saw a thing they're going to bring it back. I don't, it's going to be pretty disappointing. There's no way it's going to be good.
No, like I think there is because like I said, it's oddly, or not oddly, I think that's just good art.
Yeah, it was made during a time period. It was made during a time where there was freedom for it to be.
I think
nowadays it's way too. The world of entertainment is become so like a treadmill. It just doesn't stick.
Yeah,
I think that the references aren't going to be as potent.
Yeah, that's true. I think anything is possible, but even though it was like unfairly canceled, I'm like, just please leave it. Please leave it. I don't want it like anything bad with this show. What a fun side rant.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, that's a show I can just rewatch till the end of time. It's one of those. Same with the first 4 seasons of Futurama.
Yeah,
the first run
on YouTube. It's gonna be Green on Red / The Critic.
Hell yeah, that's the only way we're gonna get some not hate for this episode. We're giving it up for something on this episode, just maybe not in the same medium, but moving on. My worst least favorite. I hate it, but what else is new? So moving on to the next one.
It
Let's see.
Sorry,
It stinks.
I'm losing my mind in real time right now. I'm turning red.
Alex is turning green on red.
I am.
So what happened here?
More like what
They
didn't
start-
happen.
In '86, they start working with Jim Dickinson, Memphis producer, recording both in LA and Memphis. They play Farm Aid, Glastonbury, and Roskilde festivals. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. I don't know shit about these fucking types of things. I know Roadburn. Is that what it's called? I don't know anything.
Roadburns.
Roadburner?
Cool as
Roadburn.
That's the only music festival I want to go to these days.
Yeah.
There's some other ones, but that's numero uno.
Hell yeah. But now they're on to the next. I think they're on Mercury now. That's the new label. But whatever. Moving on. This is where we are. Yeah, 1987's The Killer Inside Me.
I like this song.
Oh, really? You know what? I'll give it up too. I'll give it up for the song.
This has like, could be like a murder ballad. I can envision like Nick Cave.
Yeah.
There's a howling.
Very, what's his face from the Cramps, Lux Interior.
Yes.
Screaming Spanish.
So this does hit harder than basically everything prior to this.
By miles.
In the backyard, underneath the maple tree, with withered branches by the lynching party. Ain't that the way? Ain't that the way it is? The rich get richer and the poor get less.
So, total outlaw country. And not bad. And honestly, the outro to that song, I think, is one of the very few genuinely great things they've ever done. The outro has this little guitar layer that comes in. It's kind of like heavily reverb and it's kind of ambient, and it comes in and it just opens things up, and it's a really melodic, nice section. It's still all, country and shit, but it's pretty damn good. The rest of the album, every other song on the album, I think is bad.
You ever try to jerk off with a ghost hand before?
I don't think so. Wait, what?
Oh, it's from Walk Hard.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Wait, what are you referencing on the album?
Oh, there's a song called Ghost Hand.
Oh, Ghost Hand. No shit. Oh, there we go. Full circle. It clicked. Now I get it. Yes,
Sorry.
absolutely.
Ghost Hand, I do, if they're not going to be fucking weirdo keyboard synth goth stuff, I guess I'll take the dirtier blues stuff over like Tom Petty stuff.
Yeah, it is basically just a rock and roll song.
It is.
Ghost Hand.
It is.
Oh, right. So the thing about this album that's different from all the others, this is the album with the choir.
Yes.
And let me tell you, it's funny.
You
this
think
is
it's
not
okay,
dude. I find it to be the tackiest use of choir. It's so corny, man. It's so cheesy. Every time it shows up, it's just like, oh fuck, man, you didn't. Choirs, I think, can have like this profound moving effect if they come in at the right moment in a big climax. It gives this kind of gospel feel to it. Every instance on here feels so clumsy and cheesy.
You know what? I mostly agree, but I think it all comes together on No Man's Land. If I wasn't allowed to pick an EP and I had to pick an album, I would give this one best.
Oh, really? This one?
And it's not even like, I don't know. I think when you're doing like a sea of these albums, it doesn't really stand out, but I think this, like, between like Clarksville, No Man's Land, and maybe some other things, it's this, yeah. So you get like some grit, you get some screaming from the singer, and like the soul singers are actually used well. But I do get what you're saying on like Jamie, that's it's not really used great.
Jamie, the vocals are a goddamn joke on Jamie, man. Boy, oh boy. Very corny. It almost hurts. But for No Man's Land, that's a song where I did notice on multiple listens that it's not the worst song ever. It's really not the worst song ever. But I feel how hard they're trying to make it this epic, serious thing. He's going real hard with the screams, which is fun. It's actually kind of entertaining. But it's again, like I really just said it. I mean, it's not the worst thing they've done. But it is trying really hard. It's really going for the epicness. The choir stuff felt like was just like, and that's what pushed it to a little too far into like, all right, now you're just being fucking dramatic. But
I'm scraping off the bottom of the barrel here. I'll take what I can get.
Yes, fair enough. Yeah, and then we got like this album. He's kind of like really channeling some Neil Young stuff vocally, like on Killer Inside of Me, which is not quite the name of the album, but almost the name of the album. That's very weird, where the name of the album is The Killer Inside Me and the song is called Killer Inside of Me. That drives me fucking crazy. I didn't even notice.
I didn't even notice to you.
But yeah, he's very clearly doing a Neil Young thing, but it's just rough. And I would actually like that song because the instruments, the arrangements are really big, spacious, but they're minimal. And it has this kind of doomy feel to it that really they don't do almost ever. But he's just shitting all over it with these vocals. I mean, and it's just impossible to try and tune out. So, and it also has a bitch ass quick fade out. So yeah, overall, it ends up being a miss.
It stinks.
Yes. And now we move on. There's really, I don't like it. Yeah.
I could tell you 100 other reasons why I don't like it, but yeah.
Really, honestly, the opening track is the best one, and No Man's Land has moments, but that's about it. So it said, this is interesting. It says The Killer Inside Me released in January. For the first time, fans and critics are split, with many hating the record. Hold on. For its dark themes and often hysterical vocals. Rumors start of Stewart's drug addiction and mental disorders. Phonogram promptly drops the band.
Oh shit! The only thing I heard was critic. So
It stinks. I said it was put on Mercury. That must be owned by Phonogram. I don't know exactly the deal. On the Discogs, it said it was put up by Mercury, but this says that they were dropped from Phonogram. I don't know exactly what that
there's
means.
only 3 music labels these days. So
Fair enough.
yeah.
Yeah. So they're split on this record. They're not a fan of it because of its dark themes, Alex. What's with the dark themes? You just want to go to the bar and have a hoedown.
If you were
And the hysterical vocal is literally the only funny and interesting thing about the album.
if you were a real fan like me and Mike, and you've been listening since 2 Bibles, you would know the dark lyrics were always there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Well, anyway. Okay, so this Tom notes here that apparently wasn't noted on the website. He says, what the band website fails to mention here is that Dan Stuart sacked the rest of the band. According to the wiki, the band split up, quote unquote. That's not how Stewart describes it in the 2024 interview.
Man, people are still talking to these guys in 2024. I guess we're talking about them in 2025. So
Yeah. So this is from the horse's mouth. This is from Dan, and it says, or he says, Green on Red got away with murder. We were given a chance. We were given a chance after chance after chance and blew it. Then I went and fired the band, my best friends. I didn't even tell them all. They had to find out through the music press. Kind of shitty. He goes on to say, anyone trying to help us was like trying to help a sociopath. It was not going to work. At the same time, I'm proud of Green on Red, and I'm most proud of the fact the 4 of us, the surviving members, are still on a certain level like brothers. He fires the whole band, and he returns to Memphis to record this next album. And this is from the website. It says he believes this to be his first solo record. But he had to sign it under Green on Red with China Records. So he had to use the name. But basically, up until now, this was Green on Red. Now it's just the Dan Stuart show, which, all right, let's do it. You ready?
Yep.
Yeah, here we go. This is 1989's Here Come the Snakes.
This is the most Rolling Stone shit ever, which is bad because Rolling Stones are already ripping off blues musicians.
The street right now. Right now.
So funny.
The red light is turned to green.
It's too ridiculous.
Got all day. Ain't no pain.
I mean, how much more fucking generic can you get?
Yeah, this was like made for Mick Jagger to like strut around and make the song look more interesting than it is.
And sexual and arousing.
Yeah. Bring in a choir to sing about rape and murder.
That is Gimme Shelter. Is that Gimme Shelter? Not Gimme Shelter. What the hell's the song called? I'm gonna say Gimme Danger, but that's a Stooges song. I can't believe we forgot.
It is Gimme Shelter.
It is Gimme Shelter. Okay, was it?
Yeah.
All right, I never know this fucking song. Okay. Yeah, okay. We got it. Alex, thoughts?
Man, Rock and Roll Disease kind of had a chance to be cool, but it embraces the cheese.
Dude, that one, I had a problem. I had an immediate problem with that one because now they're just copying ZZ Top. They copied Stones on the first track. Now they're just copying ZZ Top with the keyboard sound that like the same one they use in Legs or whatever the fuck.
You can't
It's just unoriginal.
You can't copy ZZ Top because like what they do is like if lesser musicians attempted it, it would stink, which we hear here. Like there's just something about ZZ Top where it's like just those three dudes could get away with doing it.
There's a lot of stuff like that. A lot of specific ass, really influential bands are like that, where everyone copied this, and then the entire subgenre that it inspired blows.
Or it seems like simple on paper. I've heard like 100 songs like that, but then once you deepen your music knowledge, you're like, these were white guys talking about getting ass before people were tossing salads and songs. They did it
real well.
So
they
good.
did it real fun. So I don't like rock and roll disease. The only things I'm okay with this album, I'm going to start with that. I am totally going to take Tenderloin. I'll take that song.
Okay. That is more in the like swampy blues territory. I think, again, I know it's stupid, but it's what I have. Like Nick Cave and Beefheart would have made it like unique or weird, or even a Tom Waits, if you will. I realize I just named three of the most eccentric musicians ever, but
that really don't stick with one style at all.
But that's like a high bar, I know, but you get what I'm fucking saying, hopefully.
Yeah. Tenderloin it's fine. It's got this farty, bendy bass that drives it. It's actually kind of interesting. It has a very cool sliding guitar line. It feels unusually tasteful of a song. And even there's this giant spoken word monologue that honestly sounds a whole lot better than him singing. Fine with Tenderloin. Also the closer, DT Blues. I'm not upset by that song. The distorted guitar sounds like absolute shit, but it's not a terrible song for what it is. He's doing a Neil Young impression again, but god damn it, it's better than most of the others. It's very edgy. It's not a bad song.
Yes. That last three songs felt like a rough long haul there. I didn't like the way DT Blues started off, but I know you don't like the fuzz guitar, but again, I will take it, and it does end up being one of the stronger songs on the album.
Everything else, including the other two, Way Back Home and We Had It All, of the final three tracks, boy,
this is like generic ballad. We Had It All sounds like they wanted like a radio hit, and that ain't it, brother. You know what other genre they do, and I never thought about it, but I guess it's a thing, is like beach country. Like I guess the most popular jumping off point would be like a Jimmy Buffett. Like Broken Radio, that's like beach country.
Yeah, Broken Radio. Yeah. It's really so. One thing about that song, I could say about a few others and a few other albums, actually, the drum sound is bizarre. It feels so 80s. The way the drums, specifically the snare, it's produced in such a weird, snappy 80s way that it's just not flattering to these kinds of songs. It feels oddly dated because of that. Way Back Home when We Had It All, there are two ballads back to back that really, really screeched the entire album to a halt. It wasn't really great anyway, but it really drags it down. I like the production to Zombie for Love, which I find to be kind of dirty and grindy. It's not bad, but the song is just a bunch of fucking blues bullshit I can't take. Yeah. I like the drum beats on Change, but that's all I'm going to give to it. Can't pretend I like the song. Yeah, I got nothing, man. This is another terrible fucking album.
I'll give it up for Change, but overall, it stinks.
Yes, indeed. Now, for this album, it says it's hated by band and critics alike.
Good.
But the fans seem to like it. And this is the thing. Like, we get earlier albums that I've seen comments calling them masterpieces. If you think Gravity Talks is a masterpiece,
Let's pump the brakes here a little bit.
all right. We don't have anything in common, but that's okay. You don't have to be friends with everybody in the world. You definitely shouldn't and can't. So that's cool. Fans are gonna like whatever. But if the band doesn't even like this album, what do you want? What do you want from me, man?
I can't say anything because I like put over that Void album that they fucking hate and I love. So bands be wrong sometimes, but
Bands do be wrong.
But this is a weird album to go to bat for. Like, I assume if you like this album, you just like that, like, Jimmy Buffett ass, like, you go to, like, Tim McGraw concerts or something.
Oh, mercy. Tim McGraw. Oh, boy. But let's move on. We don't like it. Shocker. God, I can't believe we have 3 albums left. Man, this is a brutal episode, dude. I
can't believe it went on this long. Yeah.
It's fucking brutal. We're running through these last 3. Okay.
Yeah.
This is 1989's This Time Around.
I hate it already.
This is the first song I ever heard of them because I originally thought I had 1 week to do this, and then we're like 2 weeks. I was like, this is bad. I really hope the earlier stuff is weirder. Yeah, this is like definitive, like Tom Petty-esque music.
But with Alice Cooper singing.
Didn't even bring hot dogs.
Decent.
No, you're doing it wrong.
All right.
And something else. Jesse's girl.
I actually don't even like that song. That's an unpopular opinion.
Also, that's not, I think that's Rick Springfield.
Yeah, I believe something like that. Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. So this
Ooh.
stinks.
It stinks.
Yeah.
Runs the gamut from boring generic radio rock to sleazy generic blues rock, and boring country music. Boring Lou Reed music.
Whatever the fuck that is.
Yeah. Because Lou Reed has boring songs where he's not singing about being a table.
Everything that wasn't Lulu with Metallica is
boring Lou Reed. Everything that's not Lulu. If I'm gonna give it up for something, it's The Quarter.
Really? Giving it up for that one? I give it up for a couple things here, but that's not one of them.
Also, I was very upset with Foot. I think I was losing my mind listening to it.
Oh yeah, that's bad. That is enragingly bad.
You know what would have saved it? I thought he was singing about butts for some reason. Like the way he was enunciating, I thought he was saying his name is Butt. I'm like, this song rules.
No, it's just Foot, and it's just also.
See, I'm not hard to please. If the guy's name was Butt, I'd love that song.
This is what's true, because the lyrics of that, from what I can make out, or like it sounds like complete nonsense. It sounds like he's making up this fantastical character who's gigantic or something like that, who has a gigantic foot or something. I mean, that's kind of what I got from it. It sounds like he's trying to be silly, but it just sucks. I don't fucking know. Like it's not funny. It's just stupid. But it's my opinion. But
we also listed these well of singers he kind of pulls from, but this is the only album on Hold the Line where he goes full Adam Sandler.
I didn't even think of Adam Sandler.
There was something the way,
that was a terrible Adam Sandler, but I started out okay.
Yeah, he kind of went Corn.
It all kind of comes back to Corn.
It always comes
for me.
back to Corn. It always is. They're a cornerstone, if you will.
Yeah, corner with a K-stone. So The only thing that I'm kind of going to give it to, and I won't even give it to that much, but I'm going to give it to it for the drums, is Cool Million.
Cool Million. I also noted that I like the drums on that. What are
That is it. They're cool
that's
drums.
it.
They're very,
That's it. Yeah. I like that we both were like, yeah, drums.
Yeah, it's an interesting beat. It's a very interesting beat. The riffs are bland and the vocals are shitty. Yes, of course. But as far as country rock goes, it's not the worst. It's not a great song, but the drums did save it for me. Everything else is
Get the
bad.
fuck out of
And
here. Yeah.
There are some songs that really that stick with me. That like I really, man, You Couldn't Get Arrested. I think is one of the worst maybe songs of the whole discography. Foot, I think, is another probably one of the worst songs in the entire discography. Man, Pills and Booze is just they're all. I mean, it's so bad, dude. Reverend Luther fucking sucks, dude. God, why do we do this podcast? This is why you're leaving. You have the right idea. Jesus Christ, man.
I'll get 15% why I'm leaving. Think of that. Only this would break normal people, but for me, it only plays a 15% factor.
Amazing. Oh, Jesus. So like this has the most experimenting they've done in ages, but
Yeah.
it's so mild, man. It's so minuscule, but it's like something. They did something here. Like, okay, they kind of did. Cool Million doesn't sound exactly like every other song. All right. Where was that on all the other songs? Where was that kind of like curiosity? Like, oh, maybe we shouldn't just do a straight ass fucking 4/4 beat in every song. I'm like, why not? Why not do something different? Why?
I don't know.
Cry.
I don't know. Guys, it's getting checks to make
Just
to make
misery.
to make music in quotation marks.
Indeed, this is by definition music. Yes, absolutely. But I hate it. Alex doesn't like it either. You ready to move on?
Yes.
All right. Now we're in the 90s, baby. This is 1991's Scapegoats.
It's the same song, Alex. It's the same fucking song.
Fucking Jesse's girl is at it again. She needs to be
A little
stopped.
slower.
She needs to be stopped.
I've lost things that I've never found.
This is like
A broken heart
egregious Neil Young.
and shame.
I was thinking Lou Reed, but it's the same. It's the same
It's
thing.
the same,
It's just
yeah.
a hybrid of the two.
But
Yeah.
I kept her frame.
I could hear it now, yeah.
This is the organ that I hate. I want the crazy, nutty keyboards from the first EP. This is just,
Yeah. Bring back the baseball organ.
I crashed into a
please bring back the baseball organ. Anything but
A
this.
skydiver headed for a fall.
A child can write
You
vocal
got
lines like
me
this.
with your
It is very like
eyes. A
cat
million
hat
bucks
rhyming scheme.
you disguise. I can't believe it's
So I don't hate this chorus,
a guy like
but
me
it's not
with a girl
really good.
like you.
It's just sort of a
Telling
different
me
thing that's not
everything
traditional country
I
rock.
need to
Yeah.
know.
So that's how
low our standards have gotten at this point, where it's like it's sort of almost kind of different. That must mean it's good. It's just we're just desperate for anything that's not what the rest of that song was.
Worsley's favorite.
I'm not mad at that. This is
I-
really bad.
It's really
This is
bad.
really.
Yeah.
I have a couple things that I'm okay with on here, but I think it's really bad.
Yeah, at this point, I'm like, how do I say the same thing over and over again? Much like this guy made a career out of saying the same thing over and over again. For this era, thumbs up for Two Lovers Waiting to Die.
Yes, I will second that. Yes.
Yeah, I think because it's a little more wet, like it sounds like it could be on a score for a Western rather than straight country music.
I got a lot of the Doors from that one. You got Doors from other songs, but I got it mostly on that one.
Okay. Oh man, this is dark.
The other thing that I do like is Sun Goes Down, but it comes with a big but. It really
that
is
is very Doorsy.
the thing is the actual songwriting, the actual progressions in Sun Goes Down, it is just this almost the same chord changes, very similar written song to Cold Blows the Wind by Ween, a significantly better song that came out like 5 years after this, or 5 or 6 years after this. And it has like the same progressions. It's a completely different song. It's a very much a country western song. But I'm hearing like, oh yeah, that's still, no matter if Ween is playing that, if this band is playing, those are still good progressions. I'll give it up for that song.
Yeah. Don't like on, well, Hector's out and so am I.
Oh my God, dude. Hector's out. It's got to be one of their worst songs. It's got to be one of the worst.
Also, falsely states that dreaming is for losers. Like, wait till I tell my good friends Donnie and Joe you said that. Them's are fighting words. There is like a Beatles-esque string section that comes in that is okay, I guess.
I guess, man. But I mean, that song really is going for an epic feel, but it just drags and drags. I'm not used to hearing that much dynamics with this band, so that's kind of interesting. But the song is just, man, I think it's one of the worst. I have nothing good. Where the Rooster Crows? I mean, come on, man. How many times are we going to get these?
Also,
I just don't.
Those horns sound like shit. They sound like MIDI horns.
I thought they were MIDI horns. They're not. I thought they were.
They aren't.
They really sound. They sound. They're badly produced. Yeah.
I'm glad we're on.
That's
the
very
same
interesting.
Yeah. We both like drums on Cool Mountain and then MIDI horns.
Yeah. What'd you think of Baby Loves Her Gun?
I was so bored to death.
Death, he says.
By the time,
death.
Fucking shed a tear for my social life. How about that?
Oh, the song "Shed a Tear for the Lonesome." Yeah, that's one of the. That's bad. That's a bad song. That's a rough.
Like by the time "Baby Loves Her Gun" comes on, I'm just like, I've heard this song a million times from you before. What joy? It's very similar to Soul Asylum. What joy can even be like had from writing these songs?
That is a good question because it doesn't really. I sometimes wonder about like the songwriting process of artists who make music that I don't resonate with even a little bit. But when it's something like this, when it's this bare, when it's this formulaic, and when it's this generic really when it's these songs could have taken more than like an afternoon to write from beginning to end.
That'd be dark. If someone put their like blood, sweat, and tears into music like this, I don't want to fucking know. I'm depressed enough. I can't.
It's wild, man, because you hear the stories of like the some of the artists that we like that put so much into it, and then we feel it, sure. But with this and the fans of this band, like, are you really getting moved to tears by Baby Loves Her Gun? I mean, it's like, I will give it up that it's got like orchestral arrangements and it's really, really soft and it's kind of different for them, but it's really, God, it's almost funny to me, like how hard they're trying to be sentimental. I just don't feel it. I don't know. I just don't fucking feel it.
It's to me, it sounds like someone being on autopilot. Like you technically know how to write music, but why would anyone want to listen to it?
Oh man, this band is just speaking a different language than us. We don't speak bar, country rock, blues, fucking whatever this is, because the fact that this has fans, let alone a fan that asked us to cover all their albums, means that it's just Chinese. That's all. That's really all I could like. There's no way. I don't get it. I fucking don't get it.
It stinks.
Yeah. Yeah. No objections. And we're on to the last one. Oh man, I know you're ready for the last one.
We shall
All right. Here we go, everybody. We made it. My voice is shot. I forgot to get water
That's not
before
good.
starting. And it's just, ugh.
Yeah.
All right.
Let me
go.
pour.
Ugh. Yeah, please just fucking waterboard me. Last album, 1992's aptly titled Too Much Fun.
It's an ironic title, right?
It is indeed ironic.
I like this bass line.
Let me tell you something. The use of harmonica on this album is done so liberally that I think harmonica playing should just be outlawed.
It does get used in a way that ruins music, in my opinion.
So much.
And my favorite uses of harmonica are the ones that literally play one note on it. One note.
Yeah.
Ennio Morricone, Swans, stuff like that.
Yeah.
One note. I like that. But I like this bass line because it feels written. It actually feels like a simple, but written.
I will say maybe there was something going on with the bass playing here. Because, like, the next song, Frozen in My Headlights, is one of the most interesting things in their whole career. And yeah, it's like this jazzy bass. That's like the only good thing on this album.
So I'm going to go ahead and disagree. I would think this is actually their best of their shitty albums. I think I would give this one best if I couldn't pick an EP. And it's just the most diverse. It's not very diverse.
Mm-hmm.
None of them are. But you hit it with Frozen in My Headlights. I don't like the song very much, but the bass on it is very interesting. You know what it actually reminds me of? Bad by Michael Jackson.
Oh, shit. Okay.
A little bit more bendy or slightier bendy. It sounds a little bit more programmed. It doesn't sound like a real bass. I'm sure it is, but it just sounds like it. But it feels different. It still has the blues modulating formulaic structure, but it feels different. It actually feels different. And then I think Love is Insane isn't that bad. I'm actually okay with Love is Insane. The bass on it, as well as most of this album, it's very deep and it's very heavy, and it's a nice change of pace.
I like the vocals on that one more than most his vocals. And it has porn guitars. It's kind of shocking this band took that long to use porn guitars.
Agreed. Very shocking it took them that long. I also agree that some of my favorite vocals are on this song that he's done, aside from the first EP, which I think are his best. Hushed, creepy guy vocals. And the porno guitars, the porno wah pedal guitars, they have horns on there that sound fine. It's not bad. It's actually not bad. The only other song that I'm going to give it up for, and I have mixed feelings about it, but I'll give it to it, is Wait and See.
Man, yeah, what did that? Like, because I was like, I'm so broken. I'm back in the soul asylum hole by the time that came on.
So what did it for that one is it's one of the most minor key riffs they've ever done. And by that I mean it's specifically more dramatic and dark than most of their songs. It's a great main riff. The song quickly goes into more of the same country western kind of boring stuff, but it keeps returning to the main riff and has a very strong solo. I dug the solo. I dig the main riff, so I'm going to give it a pass for that. That's basically it.
You know what song pissed me off is Thing or Two.
Oh God.
Because
Yeah.
there's like 10 or 20 seconds. I don't remember exactly how long. Like when it started, I like visibly like, oh, is this going to be something like cool? And it flushes it down the toilet so fucking quick. I don't even know why the intro to that song exists the way it is.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. There's so many poor. I mean, this clear. Whatever. If you're, we you know how we don't like this band at all, of course. But I just feel like this dude has zero songwriting talent. Like he just has no sense about what to lean on and what to hang on and what to elaborate on, and just ends up just falling on the same fucking tropes every song, more or less every song. One of the worst songs in the entire discography, one of my least favorite songs of the band, Man Needs Woman. I just hate it. There's something just about the energy of it that I hate. I don't give a fuck about what the song's about. I don't pay attention to what any of the songs are about. I don't give a fuck about any of the lyrics. There's something about just the way it feels when it comes on that just pisses me off.
So the song before that, I Owe You
One?
And man, owes us more than one. Like that's when the harmonica usage broke. Like I'm going insane by the amount of harmonicas. And then Man Needs Woman comes on and I'm like ready to like punch a hole in my wall or break something because I'm like, you're still doing the thing.
Yes. Man, there's so much of the same all over this fucking album. The Getaway is more like a step in the more traditional alt rock direction.
Mm-hmm.
It's not straight country. So it's like, it's not a terribly well written song at all. I don't like the song, but I was like, oh, okay. It's sort of, you don't have to just do these generic cookie cutter template country rock, southern rock, blues songs. And then the guitar solo has this really interesting tone. It's a pretty cool guitar solo, but but I still don't like this, like the song, the actual riffs, the actual notes and melody, the actual progressions are still not good. There's just so little to enjoy. Rainy Days and Mondays, I gave it a pass at first because it's like, it's more easy listening than it is country, but it's just fucking boring. I can't justify that.
Yep. They it may have been an adequate closer, but like most of their career, they went and cheesed it up and did a bare bones service.
Yeah, dude. This band, I don't like it.
Would you say they stink?
I would venture so far as to say, Alex, and the rest of you watching and listening, that it stinks. And that is my closing statement. And I have no more to do. I'm going to go to sleep. It's fucking 5 p.m. and I'm going to go to sleep when we're filming this.
I'm going to watch the new Ryan Coogler movie, Sinners. I'm very excited.
I hear good things. I hope you enjoy.
I bet that has some good, like, blues country music in it, considering the time frame it takes place in.
Let's hope so. Let's definitely not hope for anything, especially the late 90s chunk of albums by Green on Red, a band that we didn't need to listen to, and in retrospect was a mistake because we were given an option to listen to someone else and we didn't take it. It's our fault. That's how I'm going to cover my ass with that.
Who's to say we would have liked the other band better, though?
No one, but I bet. You know?
Yeah. I don't.
But I bet.
I don't know.
Jeez. So after this, what's the most recent thing? In 2005, Stuart Prophet Watterson and Gakavas reunite in Tucson with Darren Hess playing drums. The show gets released on video as Valley Fever. Yeah, so they reunited in 2005 and 2006. They reunited in the early 2000s for a little bit. I think no, it was just a one-off. 2005, 2006. That's when they united. Dan Stuart still goes around solo. I believe he still goes around solo, and I have no interest. And that's the way that is. I'm never going to listen to this band again. I'm very sorry, Nikos, who's no chance in hell still listening at this point. And if he is, God bless you. But
What a champion.
yeah, but you really, this is the kind of stuff that we don't prefer to listen to. It teaches us something. Maybe we'll figure it out in 10, 20 years what it taught us, having to force ourselves to do this and to actually pay attention to these albums. We didn't just put it on and just like, oh yeah, we'll listen to it. We took fucking notes and listened. We really tried. But we have other requests lined up. The final requests this whole year is going to be pretty much requests, trying to fulfill all these. And the next one, I can safely say in a couple of weeks, it'll be coming out, is going to be a lot more up our alley, a lot more enjoyable, a lot less like this. And it's a bit extreme. If you're into extreme stuff, it's going to be extreme.
Genuinely Southern.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, actually. Genuine from the South. But yeah, that about does it. Let's fucking wrap this up. All right. So recap, Alex.
Best personal favorite, Green on Red. Worst, least favorite, Scapegoats. And watch The Critic on Tubi.
Hell yes. For me, two Bibles, best personal favorite. I'm not going to talk anymore about this band. And worst, least favorite, the No Lunch EP. Boy, oh boy. So thank you so much for listening and watching and hanging out with us. Thank you, Nikos, once again. And I'm sorry. And also screw you, whichever of those you prefer. I mean, really, any of those apply. If you want to hang out with us further, you can do that. Like the video if you like it. Subscribe. Talk shit in the comments. Tell us why this is the greatest band ever. We don't know anything at all. And we are, no better than scum. You can follow me on all social media at PanderMonkey. And Alex on Blueski at
Octatron 3030.
Hell yes. And you can follow our history guy, Tom Osman, at Tom Osman Sounds on all social media, as well as TomOsmanSounds.com for his music and his podcast, whatever comes next. Links to all that in the description. My EP, because I make music, you can go ahead and shit on that. There's a link to that in the description as well. Patreon, baby. That's where you go. Even though we are no longer accepting requests at the moment, might open it up once Alex leaves. We'll see how everything looks after that. It's a good ways away though. For now, close requests, but there's still plenty of perks there. You get bonus episodes. You get to join the Discord, be a part of the community, talk shop, talk shit, talk music. You can suggest brand new albums that have come out this year for us to do EAE singles episodes on. And if you're tier 2, then you can suggest bonus episodes. So any album from anywhere, and we'll do a bonus episode for Patreon on it. It's good stuff. Go there. Thank you. And of course, we used to have a tradition where we played a final song. We no longer do that, and we have lost like 60 something episodes on Spotify, maybe more. And by the end of the year, I imagine there's going to be most of them are going to be gone. So we're not going to do that, and just as well because I wouldn't know what song to pick anyway. Because yeah, but. Let's go to sleep, Alex. Let's just wrap this up.
I would love to. I've been up way too early.
Hell yes. So thank you so much for listening and watching. See ya.